Talking of new things, we'll do something a little bit different for the prayer today. So if you're online, for those of you who are online, would you please, if you'd enable your cameras for the time being so we can, not us here, but so you can see each other. And in our religious tradition, it's not just ministers and religious professionals who can give blessings. We all can give blessings to each other. With the idea of spreading joy, I thought we could maybe have a practice of spreading blessings to each other for the prayer today. Because each of us has the power to bless one another and to bless the world. I invite everyone here to take part in this blessings. And the words are ordinary, but I invite you to say them. But we make this blessing real through our shared intention. So if you're willing, I invite you to make contact to your neighbours. And if you need to move around, find some neighbours. You can hold hands. If you don't want to be touched, you can cross your arms. And if you could bring your attention back to the room and invite us to put words up on the screen. You can bring the words, bring the attention back. I invite you to share these words, and you say these words, think of the people that you're connected with, and offer it as a blessing to yourself as well. Because we are all capable of blessing, and we're all capable and deserving of being blessed. So I will lead the words. As we have been blessed, join me in the to be a gift to our world. Breathe in, breathe out. This breath we share with all that breathes. Feel the love of the universe flowing through us into you and out into the universe. Let the love of all the universe, your love, flow outward to its height, to its depth, its broad extent. The more you know, the more beloved you know. Take up the power to create safe haven, to make earth a haven. Give hope to those you encounter, that they may know safety from inner and outer harm. Be happy and at peace, healthy and strong, careful and joyful. Be the blessing you already are. That is enough. I invite you to join me in a time of silence, and if you want to look at the people around you and make contact, please do so. Well, even though the monthly theme for April is joy, the monthly theme for May is imagination. So I'm going to ask you to use your imagination right now and imagine me as a small boy. I know I'm ridiculously large now, but I once was a small boy. And I wouldn't say I was a timid boy for most things. There was 3 photographs in a row on my birthday, 4, 5, and 6, and I had a cast on. 2 in my arms, 1 in my leg for breaking bones. But I did go through spells where I was scared, but it wasn't when I was really young, because my dad remembers taking me to the swimming pool for the first time, and my brother, who's 5 years older, the 3 of us got changed into our swimming trunks. It was a public bath, and we walked. My brother said, "I'm away," and he dived in, and I'd never been in a swimming bath before, and I said, "Okay, I'm away," and dived in, and my dad dived in after me to save me, and he said I kind of came up and then looked really puzzled because I finally realized I didn't know what I was doing, and he saved me. So I wasn't really a particularly timid child, but I remember there was this one slide I was terrified of. It was a really big slide, and my brother was a great big brother. He'd really tried to encourage me to go down the slide, but I wouldn't go down it. So he eventually just gave up and went off playing. But I kept trying to do it, and I got up to the top of the big slide, and I looked down it, and I climbed back down the stairs, and all the children behind me were really annoyed. Not much sympathy.
But then eventually there was this young girl, and I can't quite remember, maybe she was 1 or 2 years older than me, and I was probably 3 or 4. I don't know how much of this I actually remember and how much of it was told. It's one of these stories that becomes family folklore, and you go, did it really happen? But I do remember aspects of it, and this young girl said, I'll help you, come on. And she was really patient. She told everyone else, stay back, this little boy needs some help to go down this slide. You can imagine everyone else rolled their eyes, but this girl was really, and I didn't know her, she was really patient, and she helped me up, and she said, watch me go down it. She went down it, and she came running back up and came back up the stairs. Maybe she was just doing it so she could get 2 shots in the slide. I'm not really quite sure, but she came back up and she said, okay, let's go down together. I went, okay, and so she got behind me, and she spread her legs behind me, and we went flying down together, and I was terrified, I can imagine. But then I got to the bottom, and there was that exhilaration. It's like, whoa, that was so fun. And then I would start doing it. I did it by myself. She came up and helped me, and I did it. But that was one of the few things I really remember being scared. And I always thought it was so nice of a young girl to take time out how play to help me experiencing joy. And we often think of, I talked at the beginning of the month about how joy is not happiness. Happiness comes from external sources. Happiness can be a path to joy, but really, joy comes from within. And I remember the feelings of joy once I got down that slide for the first time, because I think we often experience joy on reflection. And I think if you go to a great music concert, you're there with friends, and you're so in the moment that you kind of lose track of time. I felt I lost track of time when Nick and Laura were playing there. I was so absorbed in the music, and then in reflection, it's joyful. And I think that's what we can do. We've been talking a lot about how we each can experience joy ourselves this month. I want to think is, how can we be agents of joy? How can we be spreaders of joy to others? And it's not that we can make them happy, but we can help them connect with the joy in their own life. I mean, that young girl knew I wanted to go down that slide. She could see how determined I was, but I just needed someone else to enable me into that path of joy. So I ask you, how do you want to be a spreader of joy? Who do you know in your life, perhaps in this community, perhaps in your family, who you think just needs a little extra coaching to recognize the joy in their life? My last congregation I served, part of our vision statement was to spread love, justice, and joy. That's a beautiful vision. How can each of us spread love, justice, and joy? Because I think joy is perhaps one of the most important religious values that we have. Justice is incredibly important, but justice is a path to joy. The goal is for more people to have more joy in their life, have more access to joy. So I invite you to think, as we reflect and as we engage in the Action Sundays today, how would you like to be a spreader of joy? Through music, through dance, through humor, through making people feel valued by blessing people like we did during the prayer today. To hear how important you are to someone else can be one of the most joyful experiences we can have.